All right, guys, welcome right back from African Business Radio. Winston is still here with you and Rachel on The Breakfast Show. And, of course, like I did promise you, we're going to have an amazing conversation with one of the finest producers to ever come out of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, he's made too many hits, classic hits, different kind of hits for all of your superstars, from Fino to Keith Daniel, pretty much everybody, name it. Major Bangz has been there from the start and is still repping it. And one thing that's amazing about Major Bangz is how he's been able to stay relevant all this while and still produce some of the most biggest recent hits. And we have Major Bangz live with us on The Breakfast Connect. Major Bangz, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good to have you on. Yes, absolutely excited to have you here as well. So real quick, right, for the African community, the entire African community who may not know as much personal detail about Major Bangz, they just know your hits. You want to give them a quick rundown as to who the bad guy Major Bangz is?
I go by the name Major Bangz. My real name is Archibald Mike.
Nice.
Started producing in 2002. It's been a long time, but I happened to enter the Nigerian music industry in 2011. That's when I made my first major hits.
2011.
I used to stay in Calabar, so
okay.
Yeah, I stay in Calabar, so most of the songs we made back then they don't hear us here, so I had to relocate here in order to be heard. So in 2011, I made a song for one guy. His name is Diva.
Okay.
The title of the song is Ethic. It's quite popular on the streets. So then in 2012, I worked with started working with Fino. We came out with Pasu.
Yeah.
We did Alubam. We did Oset. We did we worked with Olamide as well. We did Lambebe. Then I did Lil Kesh for Shoki for Lil Kesh featuring Davido.
Yes.
Olamide.
Absolutely.
Did Owo Blues for Olamide. Did Powerful for Ibis and Chidima. Did it's a lot. Did Original Badman featuring Young L and Timaya. Did tons of music. Some of them I can't remember. Folk Reminisce.
I can imagine. Countless hits from back then. Now that from that Fino era, that's one interesting time. Just like you rightly said, that was when you really broke into the industry. That was something. You and Fino had like at least 3 hits that were topping all the charts at the time. Like you rightly said, Paso, Alubam, and everybody was like, "Who is this Major Bangz?" Because his beat sounds so different, right? What's it been like since then till now? I mean, that was 2012, and this is 2021. I mean, we're going to talk about the recent songs that you've also produced, the recent hit songs you also produced. But what's that journey, that space been like as a producer in Nigeria down here? What's it been like for you?
Well, it's been okay. Only problem is number one, the business side.
Yes, exactly. That's one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, that has really been a nightmare for me because I put in 100% of my time, and then when the monetary results come in, I tend not to get my fair share. That's how it has been from the previous relationship.
Right.
I had it was everything just went sour because only one party is gaining.
Yeah.
Only one party.
Yeah, the monetary return.
Yeah. Only one party is gaining. It's getting richer and richer, and you're still on the streets pushing. So I find that very parasitic. So
absolutely.
And then it's not better to just start up again afresh. So I ended up starting my career afresh, which is what I'm doing now.
Wow.
Fresh start. So this first start, I fucked with Kida Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are people who just they adhere to your terms and they're fan. Fucked with Kida Cruz, I fucked with Lakon.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Kida Cruz and Rema. So we're trying to restart everything again. We're taking it bit by bit. I also have a new artist that I'm working with. Her name is Daisy.
Okay, Daisy.
Yeah, her name is Daisy. And trust me, she is the most dopest indigenous MC I've seen in my life.
Oh, wow. Wow. Coming from you, that's a big cosign.
You need to, everybody needs to pay attention to this girl. She's going to take over very soon.
Okay, I'm interested in
Yeah,
that.
so that's what, like, that's another major project I'm actually filling my time. Because I need to create another artist from scratch. I'm going to build that chemistry for the next 10 years.
Yes, because producer-artist chemistry is one thing that's also very important in the music industry, especially as a producer. It helps both the producer and the artist also stay relevant. I mean, we know about Timbaland and Magoo. We know about the Bangz and Jazzy down here in Nigeria. So many examples. Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and every other person. So I think I like that. But let's talk about the way forward, especially when it comes to producers not getting their due credit and their share of revenue, because this happens a lot. It's funny because even up until late last year, there was a situation with another very big producer. It was Del B, actually. Del B had a situation with an artist who clearly, didn't want to adhere to his terms and wasn't even willing to even part with anything, not even royalties. It was like, I don't give producer royalties. I was like, what? So when he told me the story, I was like, this artist, I mean, I'm not going to call the artist's name, but this artist had the guts to say that to a star producer like Del B, who was earning, like, we know how much he got off Whiskey's Sounds from the Other Side's project, for example. So how do you even have the nerve to say that, like, to somebody who has churned out many hits over the past decade? So what's the problem? Is there? I know there's a fundamental problem. Is it a structural thing? Is it that producers are not factored when it comes to the revenue share or the split sheet of publishing? What exactly is the problem? Why are producers always at the wrong end of the stick?
The losing end. Yes. You see, I'm going to put it this way: the whole Nigerian music industry is a very nice place. It's a nice industry, but at the same time, it looks like a crime syndicate where if you come out and then say this artist, you call out this artist openly on social media, and you say this artist, you owe me, you're supposed to pay me, you're supposed to pay me what I work for, and this and this and that. That the rest of the artists in the industry will not want to work with you because they feel that they're going to call them out as well. They blacklist. Now, this is what I think. I think that the problem, number one, is a structural thing.
Okay.
You see, the structural problem affected me for 9 years.
Wow.
Do you understand? For 9 to 10 years. Because I've been having the only artist that I did the structure thing with is, Kiss Daniel, which the one ticket record.
Yeah.
The songs I made for Kiss Daniel, I'm getting royalties of the songs. Because first of all, my management, I never had a management before. I started having a management from 2018. Wow. Exactly. So now, my management made it clear that, look, Major, this record you've done is going to be one of the biggest records in Africa. So you need to make sure that you get everything done. And I had this discussion because that was my friend. So good. That's his style actually. That producers gotta eat. They gotta eat that. He's not one of those guys that will do that. No. That he knows this thing already. Now how far? Do I have any documents I want to? Are you there?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you.
Yeah. Do I have any documents that I think you can read? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I sent him something and he saw it. He was fine with it. And
you see? So you guys took care of the business side of that.
Yeah, we took care of the business side. It was fine. Very, very smooth. You see?
Really?
It went very smooth. So now, the problem is the structure. And that's what it is. It is what it is. It's structure. Now, if those things are not taken care of, we're going to still have issues.
Issues, yes.
Like, it's still going to come up. It's going to be coming up time down on. So you see, that's why I think it is structure.
Right. Absolutely. So structure helps take care of the business side for the producers, especially for new producers who are coming up. I know some of them are very desperate. I know some of them want to work with, say maybe established artists. If an established artist reaches out, it will help them get heard. But I mean, we don't want to have a situation where every new talented producer goes through the same process again. There are too many cases. The last producer who called out one of the biggest stars in Nigeria, after that, his career literally went off the radar. I don't think anybody has worked with him since then, just like you rightly said. And I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. Yeah, exactly. You can't imagine how he's feeling right now. But now, you as Major Bangz, before we talk about, a few more other projects you're working on aside, the new female artists you talked about, have you been able to still stay relevant, especially with these challenges that you've just shared? It's a lot. Not many people would bounce back from that, and with the way the game is right now, the Nigerian music scene is bigger. One could literally become so big off just one hit, and the buzz is heavier right now. There's a lot of new producers also coming up, but have you been able to still be Major Bangz with that unique sound, that unique quality? People would always want to. I mean, there's that unique signature. If you want a Major Bangz beat, it's different. You're getting something different. So have you been able to thrive so far in a very competitive industry like this?
Yeah. Okay. To me, I know the industry is competitive, but standing a chance in the industry for me is not a problem at all. There are certain issues that I think. Number one is I think. Okay, let me point this thing out there.
Right.
Sometimes there are certain artists I want to work with. Look, let me tell you something. I'm the heaviest eclectic producer in this whole continent. Forget what you've heard or what anybody, any other producer is dropping. Everybody saying it's dope. Trust me, they've not seen dopeness yet. The truth is, most of the artists, they just tend to run after who's hot.
Yes,
do you understand?
I know that.
They're not really coming down to check critically. Okay, what does this guy have?
Yeah, once
there are artists that I'm trying to reach out. Like there are artists that I'm trying to reach out that I know that if we work together,
you understand,
we're going to. In fact, not just magic. They're going to have like their biggest song ever. Do you understand? But reaching them is hard. Their managers are not saying anything. Their managers are not saying anything. True. They are not, because maybe probably you come from a rap background, so they feel that that's the only thing you know how to do. No jokes. So that's one of the problems. Yeah. That's one of the problems. See, if that's so if that is if I'm getting if I'm being able to reach every manager easily, without a problem, then making like the number one song on daily basis is not a problem. But even aside that, Major Bangz is still going out strong, because even with these challenges, right? People still hear me and they still love my stuff.
Absolutely.
What I did on Lakers album. Everybody loved.
Yeah, I heard that. That's a good one. That's a good way to even continue dominating, because there was a lot of buzz around that project. So that's a very good one. That's a very good one for sure. It was a very good one. Nice. So, looking at 2021, it's a year where it's clear everybody's trying to go extra hard. People working, people making music, people doing sports. Everybody just feels like this year, maybe because of what 2020 did to all of us. So everybody's trying to make up for whatever it is that we lost in 2021. So you see everybody putting out very heavy projects. And aside the new artists which you talked about, which I'm very, very, very interested in, because I mean, I don't think there's anything as beautiful as looking out for younger, talented artists and trying to give them a platform and give them a hand or a voice too. So that's beautiful stuff. But aside that, what else should we be expecting from Major Bangz? I know you told me about a tape one time, a new tape, aside the last one you put out. Yeah, are you still working on that, or are you just working on strategic collaborations now? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, so what's in for Major Bangz right now?
Yeah.
Number one is this female artist I spoke to you about.
Okay.
Number two, definitely I'm going to work with other big artists. I really want to work with Burna Boy.
You guys will make madness.
Exactly.
You guys will make madness. I think we should set up a meeting with Pity Picasso or something, because that would be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You look, I want.
That's my man.
I want Burna Boy. Yeah, Burna Boy number one. That's the guy I want to work with, because I know we're going to break walls. Then another guy I really want to work with is Omale, but I'm still taking my time. The emergency one is Burna Boy.
Yeah.
Burna Boy one is there. It's like my whole beats gallery.
Right.
Tends towards his direction. Yeah.
Right.
Like my whole
totally
gallery
agree. I can see that. I can see that.
So now what's that's number two. Daisy is number one. The Burna Boy project is number two. And any other artist I could get. I also want to work with Fireboy. Why? Because Fireboy, my R&B side. I have an R&B side. Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
R&B side. Yeah, I have an R&B side. People don't know that. Yeah. Have you listened to Kiss Daniel's Bad?
Absolutely.
Kiss Daniel's Bad featuring Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that song.
Exactly, that record. So people haven't heard my R&B side. My R&B side is very sophisticated. Yeah, so I want to work with Fireboy. Yeah, Fireboy is one guy I really want to work with. You see, so these are people that... And Rema. Yeah, Rema. Rema, very important.
I can see the chemistry between these guys you're mentioning already.
Because I did a project with Kid Akus featuring Rema.
Nice.
And that record is mad. Very, very mad. Yeah, it's very, very good. So that's the two major things. Then I'm going to put out a tape. This one, I want to start first with remixes.
Okay.
So I can, grow my social media.
Yes.
My social media thing.
Yes.
So the remixes is I can pick a hit song and spoil it and do like an electronic version or something, because I do EDM a lot too. Anybody who knows Major Bangz, who's been following me, I come from the hip hop electronic background, so I have more electronic EDM, Afro EDM based Afrobeat remixes throw out there for social media thing. Then my own tape. My tape is going to be very crazy, but I need to achieve this, so it will give my tape.
Right.
When I'm dropping my tape, it's going to get a bigger attention.
Yes. That's a great strategy. Absolutely. Nice one, Major Bangz. It's been a super interesting conversation. Very insightful as well. And thanks for sharing all the deep things as well. And also, pretty much tips to help people stay strong. Because I'm sure that there's a lot of producers listening to you who are pretty much going through the same thing. It was some big producers, like I said. I mean, I just gave a Delby example. Who would have thought that a top producer who was giving like a lot of national hits from Runtown's Mad Over You to Limpopo to a lot of hits would have that kind of conversation with an artist in 2020. So I can only imagine what the younger producers are going through. So thanks for all. And we hope that maybe going forward, a lot of stakeholders in the industry would not only keep thinking about the interest of the artist, but also put the interest of the producers as priority.
It's very important
as well. Yes,
it's very important.
It is, because the producers make these hits as well. It's not like it's just the artists. Yes, the artists are talented, but without the amazing beats that these producers put together, that you guys come up with, we won't have these beats, especially down here in Nigeria. One of the reasons our music has traveled so far is because we have amazing instrumentals. And, you know, you guys are the ones responsible for all of that. So it's so unfair in a country where the music is largely driven by the instrumentals that the producers don't get their due credits and business returns or, you know, monetary returns on royalties. I think that's so unfair. So thank you so much for the insights, and thank you for sharing all of that. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Cheers, man. Cheers. All right, chat later. Yeah. All right, guys. That's been absolutely amazing. What a great conversation with one of Nigeria's biggest producers. He's made countless hits, just like he listed. I'm sure you heard all of that. We managed to get him on the show today because he's been super busy. But then again, you heard what it is. There's so much going on in the country. The producers don't get what they're supposed to get. The producers don't get their royalties. The producers don't get paid enough. So how do you still go through all that challenges and still thrive in a very competitive and challenging industry? But he just shared all of that. So if you're a young, talented producer and you're listening, I hope you took notes down so you can maneuver your way, so you don't pretty much, you know, fall into the same trap or find yourself in the same situation where you're very talented and you're putting in so much work and you're not making any money, or you're not growing, or nobody's paying you for your craft. That'll be totally unfair. All right, I still have Rachel in the studio with me. Winston is here. Stay here.